The thing that I remember most about that day was how hot it was. Most of the other women come here in the morning, when it's cool. They come to get water for cooking or cleaning or whatever else they might be doing that day. But not me. I was here in the middle of the day, in the heat, alone.
I mean, there were people everywhere, all the way through here. It was just wall-to-wall people. You could barely move. It looked like the whole city was here. I'm the first to admit that I'm not exactly the most popular guy in the city. I used to tell myself that it was just a job, tax collecting, and that all this talk about being a traitor and a sellout working for the enemy, that was just because people hated taxes. And if, I cheated anyone, maybe they should have treated me with more respect. I guess you can justify anything.
Why does there need to be any sort of justification? Why can't it just be one of those things? Blind since birth. It's not like I had a chance to do anything wrong, but people would always say, your blindness is a curse, you must have done something wrong. And I'm like, what? Sit wrong in the womb? Then people would get all judgy. If it wasn't you, it must have been your parents. But somebody did something.
I think we've all done something. Something people wouldn't like or approve of. But me, maybe more so than others. Which is why I was here alone. He was sitting over there when I walked up, just sitting quietly, amused by his own thoughts. And then he asked me for a drink. I don't think I've even seen a Jewish man here before, let alone spoken to one.
All I really wanted to do was see. People had been raving about this guy for months, this healer and teacher. A friend of mine had even heard him tell a story about a tax collector that God forgave. But I couldn't see. The crowd was so thick, I couldn't see over anyone. I guess money can't buy you height. So I pushed my way through the crowd, climbed up this tree. I don't know what I was expecting, what I was hoping to achieve. I just wanted to see.
You know the worst thing about not being able to see? Is people talk about you like you're not even there. Here I am, just sitting, minding my own business, and all I can hear are these people have some great debate about why I'm blind. I'd heard it all before. Then I heard something that I hadn't heard before. I heard someone tell me that it wasn't my fault, or my parents'. He said that he was the light of the world. Seems like a fairly stupid thing to say to a blind man. Next thing I know, he's touching my face, rubbing mud in my eyes. I'm not sure how he got the mud in the desert. Then he told me to go wash in the pool. And after I did, I could see.
Sure, I could see, but the thing that I didn't count on is that I could also be seen. Before I knew what was even happening, the teacher was calling my name. I assumed someone had told him about me, about how I'd lied and cheated them and what a horrible person I was. But, he pointed straight at me and said, Zacchaeus, I must stay at your house tonight. The people around me were not happy that this great holy man was going to stay with a great sinner. And to be honest, I couldn't believe it myself.
I couldn't believe it, to be honest. Here was this Jewish man asking a lone Samaritan woman for a drink in the middle of the day. And he asked, it wasn't a demand. And then we talked. Most of the men in my village only speak to me with lust or scorn. He wasn't like that. He knew my past. At first, I thought he was having a go at me about my romantic history. But he wasn't. He was all about life and that my people and I would be accepted by God. So I ran back to the village to tell them about him.
I'm sure everybody thought they'd gone crazy. I mean, this man, blind at birth, can now see. Nobody would believe that. No, seriously, nobody would believe it. They took me to see the Pharisees, and they started to have this ridiculous debate about whether Jesus was evil because of some nonsense about the Sabbath. And I'm like, listen, what do you people want from me? All I know is I was blind this morning and now I'm not. And for that, they threw me out. Some things never change.
Some things do change. I really did feel that. As Jesus sat with me in my home and we talked, I knew my life could be made right. Right there and then I decided to give away half my possessions to the poor and pay back anyone I'd cheated. He didn't ask me to do that. But he showed me kindness, the better way to live. He made me feel accepted. Said that I was a son of Abraham. And I haven't felt that way in a very long time.
After the Pharisees threw me out, Jesus found me again. I was amazed that he was even looking for me. He asked me if I believed in him. I did. But not because he made me see, but because he took that judgment away.
I expected everyone in the town to judge me when I told them what had happened, but they didn't. They believed me. They came back with me to the well, all of us in the heat, and listened to this man teach. And as I sat there, watching them listen, I realized that we all felt that way. All felt alone. All needed the hope this man was giving freely. My life changed that day. All our lives did.